Hello and welcome back to Froch on Fighting. If you are new to this channel, my name is Carl the Cobra Froch, former unified super middleweight world boxing champion and International Boxing Hall of Famer. This episode is brought to you by Cobra Casino. Before we get into today's episode, I want to tell you about my friends over at HelloFresh. As a former professional boxer, unified world champion, you know what I am. You know where I've been and what I've done, Hall of Fame and all that. I know what it takes to fuel my body. But let's be honest, after a long day, the last thing I want to do is think about what's for dinner. And that's why I use HelloFresh. It's packed with fresh ingredients, perfectly portioned and easy to follow recipes. No stress, no wasted time, just great meals every single time. Fuel your body like a champion with HelloFresh. Fresh ingredients, quick recipes and no hassle. Trust me, you'll be fighting for seconds. Just scan the QR code on your screen and use the unique code FROCH50. This will allow you to get 50% off your first box and 25% off the next 2 months, plus free desserts for life. So we received some really big news yesterday. Terence Crawford will be taking on Canelo Alvarez for his 168-pound super middleweight unified world titles. This is going to be massive. It's in Las Vegas at the Allegiant Stadium, holds 65,000, not quite 80,000, but this is a monstrous show in a stadium in America, in Las Vegas, so it doesn't get much bigger. The biggest talking point for me is the weight division, 168 pound. Canelo's happy at that weight. Terence Crawford's coming up 2 weight divisions from where he is at the minute to take him on for these titles, and it's a big jump for Crawford, but it's not been officially announced. We don't have a date, but they've said it's going to be September in Las Vegas. I can't wait for it. So, as just mentioned, the biggest talking point for me and the biggest problem, if you like, for Terence Crawford is the fact that this fight's made at 168 pound. My old weight division, super middleweight, he's been down as light as lightweight. When he beat Ricky Burns, that was at lightweight. I'm going back 10 years, but just gives you some idea of where he started his career. He beat Ricky Burns at lightweight. He beat Errol Spence for the undisputed welterweight world champion. That's Errol Spence. Remember, he beat Kell Brook, and Kell Brook actually fought Terence Crawford after that. So Spencer softened him up, fractured his eye socket. Then he fought Crawford. Crawford beat Kell Brook, who's, what was that at 147, like welterweight. So, I mean, he's quite a small guy. I interviewed him last week, and he's put, what is he, 5'9", 5'10". I know Canelo Alvarez isn't that tall, but Canelo Alvarez has been up at light heavyweight. I can remember when Canelo stepped up to beat Kovalev. I mean, Kovalev was a big, strong. I mean, he probably passed his best at that weight, and then he soon stepped down after that. But still, Canelo Alvarez has been up at light heavyweight and is now settled at super middle. Undisputed super middleweight champion. Well, he was. He had all the belts, and he's just a naturally bigger man. Now, for Terence Crawford to be down as light as lightweight, and then coming up 2 or 3 weight divisions, for me, it's a big issue. He's not a bigger man. I mean, he's 37 years old. Canelo's 35. They're both sort of at the end of their careers. Crawford, I'm not going to say he's old, so that's going to be a major problem, because as you're older, you do want to step up the weight divisions because it's harder to take weight off. Neither of these guys are taking weight off, so that's not an issue. But there's no rehydration clause, and the issue with that is, for me, is the fact that Canelo can weigh whatever he wants the next day. So he's going to get down to 168 pounds super middle, and he's probably going to be getting in the ring way over 175 pounds at the light heavyweight limit. He'll be up at, like, in English money, it's going to be up at like 14, maybe towards 14 stone. And there's no way that Terence Crawford's going to be that heavy. He's going to be coming up to 168, and he'll only be a few pounds over that. So as great as this fight is, I mean, Terence Crawford's unbeaten. He's a former 2-weight undisputed. I think he's 2-weight undisputed. Let me know in the comments. You always correct me if I get it wrong. But he's unified the divisions at least 2, even 3 divisions. He's been a world champion. So this is a guy that's unbeaten and dominated at virtually every level. But he's now at the end of his career, and he's daring to be great. This is a fight that will really secure and seal his legacy. But he's taken on Canelo Alvarez, 2 years younger, bags of experience, and a lot bigger, with no rehydration clause. This is a mountain to climb for Terence Crawford. So fair play to him for taking this fight on. But is it a step too far? I don't even know if it is a step too far. I mean, it's a fight between 2 top world level elite athlete boxers who have beaten almost everybody. I mean, don't forget, Canelo lost to Floyd Mayweather, and he also lost to Dimitri Bivol at light heavyweight. And Dimitri Bivol, we know all about him. He's just a fantastic talent. He's taken on Beterbiev again, 22nd of February. But this is a guy that Terence Crawford's taking on, really, that's just a lot bigger, a lot stronger. He's got more experience, and it's an exciting fight, and I can't wait to see how Crawford attempts to deal with Canelo Alvarez up at this weight. It's going to be fascinating, because you would think on paper he's just not big enough, and he's obviously that good. He will obviously make a fight of it. But if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say Canelo Alvarez is a strong, strong favourite. And I wouldn't have thought that Terence Crawford would have put himself in a position like that late on in his career, going in with somebody who's far bigger than him naturally. And on paper, it looks like he wouldn't have a chance because of that size differential. But we might be surprised, and that's what's so exciting about professional boxing. Terence Crawford coming up to 168 to take on Canelo Alvarez. It really is one to look forward to. It's a monster fight. But is this the biggest fight in boxing? I mean, it's a big fight, isn't it? Would you say that Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford's the biggest fight? Two of the biggest names in boxing, that's for sure. And Terence Crawford's unbeaten. Obviously, we know what Canelo Alvarez is all about. We know what he's done. If he retired tomorrow, then he'd go down as a ultimate, like one of the best to ever do it. And so it's big. I mean, you've got to try and compare it with something. What are we going to compare it with? Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua. That's obviously a big fight for the Brits. We all want to see it. It's probably quite big in America as well. And alongside that, other than that, what you got? You got Garcia, Devin Haney, the rematch there. I mean, Garcia beat Devin Haney, give him a bit of a whooping, didn't he? And it was bad for Haney. But then Garcia failed a drugs test, so it kind of tarnished that win. But that's going to be a big rematch. But I still don't think that's as big as Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. I really don't. Obviously, in Britain, we've got AJ Fury, which we want to see, which I've just mentioned. You've also got Ben Eubank. I mean, the Ben Eubank fight is big, but I don't think it's a crossover fight over to America. I really don't. Although the Brits do want to see it because of the history of Ben Eubank. So out of all the top fights that potentially could happen that I would want to see, and I'd think that boxing fans would want to see, especially boxing purists, it's going to be Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. It's got to be all day long. I mean, Terence Crawford is just an unbelievable talent, and we've never seen him beat. So when there's somebody who's unbeaten, you always want to see how they're going to cope with somebody who's potentially got a massive favourite. We saw what happened to Amir Khan when he stepped up from welterweight. He got absolutely ironed out. But that's sometimes what happens if somebody's smaller coming up to a bigger weight division. They get clipped on the chin. They're not used to taking that punch power. And up at light middleweight, when Terence Crawford stepped up to fight Israel Madrimov, he didn't look that strong, did he? That fight went the distance and it wasn't convincing. So that sort of shows you at light middleweight, that was. I mean, that's 160 pounds, even lighter than the 168. No, it's not. Light middleweight's not even 160. 160. Yeah, 160 is middle, 168 is super middle. I'm trying to work out the stones to the pound. Sorry about that. But yeah, when Terence Crawford steps up to 168, he's in new territory. And he didn't look that good against Madrimov. So based on that, you'd say that really he don't belong with someone heavier, stronger, more experienced, who punches really, really hard. So this is a real tough fight, and the weight division is going to be, for me, the big sticking point. As much as I want to see this fight, and I want to see two of the best fighters in the world take each other on, there is that element of maybe this. I don't want to say it's a mismatch, but this potentially could be a really, really bad decision for Terence Crawford. So this fight isn't taking place till September. It's the best part of 8 months away. But I'm still really, really excited for it. Let me know. It's in Las Vegas. Let me know if you want Froch on fighting on the ground. I've spoke to both of these guys. I spoke to Canelo last week in London. I've interviewed Terence Crawford. What a cool guy. So let me know. Let me know if you want me to turn up. So in other news, I thought I'd mention Adam Azim. He fought at the weekend. He got the job done against Sergey Lipinets, a former world champion. It was a step up for Adam Azim, who's building, is growing in confidence, his style's developing. He's he's a novice pro, but he's a good prospect. Probably the most exciting and the biggest prospect in Britain now. So it'd be nice if he could step up and win a world title. He looked good. He looked good against Lipinets. He was putting shots together. It was a little bit low, a little bit cheeky with some low blows, which is a little bit concerning. Lipinets is shorter than him. I think he was trying to place that body shot and look for the body shot too much and try and find the gap under the elbow. And sometimes he just took his eye off the ball and just threw. But he landed not one but two, probably three or four low blows, but twice he got pulled by the referee and he got 2 points deducted. You need to watch that, because if that would have happened again and the ref had had enough, you get disqualified and thrown out, and that would It does look messy, wouldn't it, on his record? But he'll learn from that. He's got Shane McGuigan in his corner, very experienced trainer. He knows the game inside out. Obviously, the son of the great Hall of Famer Barry McGuigan. What a champ. In the same division, you've got Dalton Smith, 27 years old. I mean, he's 27. Adam Azim's 22. So these two are both building. They're both prosperous. Well, I say building. Dalton Smith, to be fair to him, he's done it the good old-fashioned, passionate way, which I like. British champion, Commonwealth champion, recently become crowned the European champion. And for me, that method of fighting, that sort of apprentice, if you like, British, Commonwealth, European. I was British and Commonwealth champ, never fought for the European side. It sort of wasn't available when I was stepping up to world honours. But that gets you that pedigree, that gets you established as a seasoned professional. So the fight with Dalton Smith and Adam Azim, I think it's going to favour Dalton Smith more at this stage of the career, because Adam Azim's still building. It's a good win for him against Lipinets, but is he ready for Dalton Smith? If he thinks he is, that's a great fight. I know that both the promoters are always going back and forth talking about getting these two in the ring. But yeah, I just think Adam Azim deserves props for his performance. Dalton Smith's nearly there. He'll be tapping on the only thing he's not got with his resume is a world title. So he'll be tapping on the door soon for a world title. But yeah, good performance, Adam Azim, onwards and upwards. So in other news, apparently Derek Chisora will be making his final walk to the ring in his 49th professional fight. I personally think he'll stick around for the 50th. I sincerely hope he doesn't. I don't think he should be fighting again. He's had a long, hard career. He's been in with some of the best fighters, hasn't he? And he's been knocked out a few times as well, which ain't good for your health, believe it or not. But yeah, he's fighting this weekend against Otto Wallin up in Manchester. I might go up there, actually. Let me know in the comments if you want me to turn up to Manchester. I might go up and just support Derek, actually. He's been such a good service to the sport of professional boxing at heavyweight. And he tries, doesn't he? Every time he gets in there, he tries. And he shocks us sometimes and gets a win that we don't expect him to win, or he's in a close fight and you think, how's he in a close fight against a top fighter there? But yeah, hopefully against Wallin, he doesn't take too much stick. But this is a fight where even though Otto Wallin's got no real standout name on his record, and I know AJ flattened him recently, but he gave Fury that cut. He can box and move, and he's quite a conventional Eastern European style boxer. So the problem I've got here against Derek, he can just jab. Wallin can just use his jab move and kind of outbox and outmaneuver and stay out of Chisora's way, but punch him 3, 4, 5 times and then move off. And if he's fit enough, Wallin, he'll just end up landing a lot of shots on Derek Chisora and inflicting potentially more damage that you don't need to take. So anyway, hopefully Derek Chisora gets in there, gets close to him and connects a shot and drops him. And hopefully AJ's took the spirit out of Wallin to fight anymore. So that would be the perfect scenario. Chisora gets in there, does the business. So all the very best to Chisora. Like I say, let me know if you want me to go up there. But that's it, really. Nothing much more to report. So that's about it for another episode of Froch on Fighting. Other than Derek Chisora topping the bill with Otto Wallin this weekend in Manchester, I don't think there's anything significant happening until the 22nd of February. Better BF Bivol and that amazing undercard. Really looking forward to that. But for now, if you haven't already, hit subscribe. Don't forget you can catch us on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcast. Froch on Fighting is there.